Greetings, fellow users of the internet. Today I am coming to you in voice-over form. This week's video and a few of my upcoming uploads are going to be a little different from usual, as I've been traveling with my friend around Japan, and I haven't had much time to stop and record myself. Or rather, I didn't want to spend too much time filming myself while my friend waited. Since I was traveling with my friend, and this was his first time in Japan, I was required to work at a much faster pace than usual, and this allowed me to try out a different kind of photography. A kind of photography I've always struggled with: travel photography. Now, I see a lot of travel photography on things like Instagram and YouTube from other photographers such as Joe Allam. Joe Allam? Joe Allam? Sorry, I don't know how to say your name. I'm bad with names. Anyway, what I'm trying to say is seeing all of this work inspired me. It made me want to go out and try this kind of walk and shoot style of photography, opposed to my usual style where I set up a tripod and sit in one spot for a very long time just to get one shot. Personally, I've never really had an interest in travel photography for a couple of reasons. The first reason is that I usually travel with other people, and I don't want to hold them up as I'm looking for the perfect composition or the most interesting location to shoot, and I certainly don't want to tell them to wait while I wait for the light to be just perfect. The second reason is that I honestly don't really have an eye for it. I think it takes a special kind of person, a special kind of photographer, to walk into a new location and instantly find something worth photographing. However, as I'm trying to improve as a photographer, I never shy away from trying something new and expanding my skill set. One thing I've been very adamant about as a photographer is to not let myself be complacent, to not fall into just taking the same kind of photograph over and over again. With this in mind, I took my friend up to Ibaraki. More specifically, Ushiku. Ushiku is located approximately 84 kilometers away from Kawasaki, where I currently reside. Now, it's not a typical sightseeing spot for most foreigners, or even for most Japanese people. Ushiku isn't the kind of place that jumps out on a map, and it's certainly not the kind of place that'll pop up when you Google places to visit in Japan. However, deep in the countryside of Ushiku resides something unlike anything I have ever seen. For those who know where to look, for those who look beyond the typical sightseeing spots, they will find one of the most impressive feats of modern construction: the Ushiku Daibutsu. The Ushiku Daibutsu was only completed in 1993, so it doesn't have the same kind of rich history as the others in Japan, such as the Kamakura Daibutsu. However, what it lacks in history, it more than makes up for in scale. The Ushiku Daibutsu is the tallest statue in all of Japan, and it's amongst the tallest in the world at 120 meters tall, and it weighs over 4,000 tons. Just like the Kamakura Daibutsu, you can go inside of the Ushiku Daibutsu, where you'll find lots of statues and some history about the construction of the statue. And I find these photos to be absolutely incredible, as it shows the amount of technique that was required for the construction. But I didn't film too much inside, as I often don't when I visit places such as shrines and temples and daibutsu, as I was worried about offending other people. Surrounding the Ushiku Daibutsu is a vast park with flower gardens, and even a pond where you can pay 100 yen to feed the fish. To be honest, since I'm not big on travel photography, this was actually the thing I was looking most forward to. I don't know why, but I find endless joy just feeding the fish, and I'm pretty sure I could do it all day, if someone paid me. However, I still tried my best to grab some quick travel-style photos without holding up my friend too much. But honestly, I can't say I'm pleased with any of them. Perhaps it was due to the weather, or perhaps it was the pace I was forced to work at, or perhaps I'm just not cut out for travel photography, but I just wasn't feeling inspired. It's rather difficult to get good photos during midday this time of year, as the weather was theoretically perfect for a day out, but not great for photography, as it often isn't this time of year. I tried to salvage what I could of my photos with post-processing, but I wouldn't consider any of them amongst my best work. I felt disappointed, but I'm okay with that. I was able to have an enjoyable day with my friend, and I was able to take in the wonder of the Ushiku Daibutsu. And maybe that's enough. As a photographer, you can't be good at everything. You can't always get a 5-star photo, and you can't always get the weather you hope for. Sometimes you just have to settle for a good time and being in the moment. After feeding the fish, we had to walk about 25 minutes to a nearby outlet mall to catch our bus home. Buses are scarce in the Japanese countryside, so we had enough time to sit down, enjoy a meal, and discuss our plans for the evening. I'll definitely return to Ushiku to capture a better image in the future, but until then, I'll continue to work on my travel photography, and I'll continue to explore this absolutely amazing country that I love so much.